Hey guys, Pastor Josh here with Soulfire Ministries Church, and I just want to bring another word to you guys today because this just really hit me very hard. So, when we look at the book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 20, it says, "So Jesus said to them, because of your unbelief, for surely I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you." So I place a lot of emphasis on the word as, right? I don't know if you remember back from your English class or not, but the word as is actually a simile, which means that it is making a comparison to something. This verse is saying nothing about the size of your faith, but it's making a comparison, right? So I just want to challenge this thought process that we just need a little bit of faith to get things done. We just need a little bit of faith to see God move. We just need a little bit of faith, because that's not what God intends for us to have. That's actually contrary to what God intends for us to have. So let me prove that. So in the book of Matthew, earlier in chapter 8, we read a story about the disciples and Jesus being on a boat, and there's this big storm going on, and the storm's raging, and the disciples are getting scared. They get scared to the point that they have to go down and wake Jesus up just because they're so frightened, and they're wanting him to calm the storm. So what does he say in verse 26 of chapter 8? It says, "O you of little faith." He calls them out for having little faith. He calls them out for having a small amount of faith, right? So if this is actually making a comparison to the size of our faith, then that's contradictory, right? So let's just think about it this way. A mustard seed is very tiny, right? But a mustard seed is also something that is physical, something that I can pick up and hold in my hand. If you read in the book of James, it says, faith without works is dead. So is God calling us to have a little bit of faith? No, not at all. What he's saying is that we have to have physical faith, because like I said, faith without works is dead. If we're not exercising our faith and physicality, if we're not doing the works that God has called us to do with our faith, if we're not going out and putting that faith into action and putting that faith into practice, then our faith is dead. Our faith is completely dead. He's called us to have physical faith. And I just really want to encourage you today that if you're struggling with your faith today, that just put it into practice. Well, a little bit of faith that you have, because we all have faith. The Bible says that he has dealt us a measure of faith. So we all have a measure of faith. So all that we have to do is just begin to put this faith into practice, then we will see the glory of God and the